the Kelly Finch.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Hey.
Thank you so much for being here. Before we get started, this is behind the lens rather. And the hope is to just kind of be a guide for me as someone that's still kind of pushing his way into photography spaces.
Yeah.
But for others to be able to learn from seasoned folks like yourself. So I'm super glad that you were able to be with us for today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. I want you to give a quick intro.
Okay.
But before we go there, I got like a lightning round. It's
Okay.
this or that, no explanation. It's
Okay.
just this or that. Quick answers, no overthinking. Canon or Sony?
Ooh, I might have to go with Sony.
Natural light or off-camera flash?
You know what? Natural light.
Prime lens or zoom lens?
Prime all day.
Black and white or vibrant color?
Vibrant.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Indoor shoots or outdoor shoots?
That's hard, but if I had to think about it, I'll say outdoor.
Better than me. Candid moments or pose shots?
Candid all day.
Okay. Weddings or brand shoots?
Branding.
Ooh. Editing marathon or outsourcing the magic?
Oh, outsource all day. At my age,
Really?
at this age, outsource that.
Can you just give kind of a 30-second introduction of who you are, and then I'm gonna go right to the photography. We're gonna get right into it.
Yeah. So I'm Kelly Finch of K Finch Photography. I am a branding, wedding, and lifestyle photographer, portrait photographer. I've been in the business for about 20 years now. I'm a mom. I'm a dog owner. I'm a friend. I'm all the things. And what else? Oh, I've just started in the political space as well. So that's pretty new, which I absolutely love. And I'm the owner of a creative space called Faven Creative Studio in Randallstown, Maryland. So we do all the things there. Portraits, events, small events, podcasts. So that's it.
Before our anniversary, before July, I need to book a
and
trip. We've been talking about it. I'm not joking. I'm serious
do it.
about it. That's not for the camera. Don't worry about that. All right. So this is another kind of part 2 of the icebreaker. As we kind of talk about photography, there's a bunch of questions I have for you: foundations, beginning, skill, technique, and all that kind of good stuff. But to kind of start it all off, my question is like, and I want to put them up on the screen, like, what are your top 3 photos of this season? If it's not 3, if it's 1 or 2, but like, what's one that you was like, yo, this is me, this is my style, this is what I'm pushing into, this is the direction, all that kind of good stuff.
Okay. So maybe I'll work backwards. So we just captured Artscape. And there was a moment in Artscape. So I was kind of like right in front of the stage, right? So there's like the lawn and then like the stage. And it seemed like a lot of our elderly people were like sitting right in front of the stage, which is surprising because it's so loud, but they wanted to be like right there in front of the action. And there's this one shot that I captured. It was 2 older gentlemen. And so one was like, they were like about this far apart, right? And one was actually facing the people. The one guy was facing the lawn, and then the other guy was facing the stage. And to me, that I shot that, and it was so powerful to me because it kind of was like just looking at like how far we've come, but also looking to the future too. And so it was kind of like they were both gazing at the same time, but just at two different perspectives, right? Cool. And it was so powerful. And I'll send it to you so you can see it. But it was so powerful to me. So that's like one of my favorites of this year. That was the most recent one. I would have to say, this is gonna be so corny.
Please.
But my son just went to prom, and so I captured his send off at Faven. So that was like one of my favorites because that's my baby. And then if I had to guess, like one more earlier this season, actually would have been of my principal. Our very first shoot together. I took a shot of her and she was just, it was a moment, nothing was really happening, but she was in like just deep thought. And so I was like, oh, this would be a good moment to kind of like capture her. And so I got low to kind of like, I like to shoot low on her sometimes to kind of elevate her. And so I took a black and white photo of her. It was very simple, but it was so powerful. So those are my top 3 that come to mind. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
See, we're gonna get to technique in a second because that's interesting. And we were texting in our group chat last night, but you and JJ's another one. So because JJ's so tall to get them low shots, he's literally on the ground. I'll be like,
I know. We talk about that a lot because I'm 5'2". Okay, so he's like, "Hey man, you have height advantage. You have height advantage." I'm like, "Well, I mean, calm down." Because if not, I'm literally like, you know what I mean, reaching above. So.
Yeah, he was even saying that for State of the City. He was like, "Yeah, Kelly gonna be on the floor because she's small, so she out the way." Versus, I was like, "Yeah." All right.
You know what's so funny though? Earlier on in my career, I had a gentleman that I was working in like Baltimore City Public Schools, and I was just like, I would bring my camera to work to shoot the kids sometimes, events. And I remember, I'm not going to say the name, but a particular news station came, a real popular news station in Baltimore, and one of the videographers saw me shooting, right? And he came up to me and was like, "Yeah, that's nice." He's like, "But you would never make it in this business. You'll never be a photographer. You're too short." And literally, even though at that time I didn't have much experience, right? My words to him were literally, "Bet.
Got you.
Watch this.
Say less. Yeah, no doubt.
Watch this," right? And so now it's like, I wonder I always think about that. Like, I wonder where that guy is. And I wonder if he's seen me on the news.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's seen my publications.
Yeah.
I wonder. You know what I mean? But
what inspired you to first pick up a camera? Like, what was the first camera pickup?
So this is a good question for you because this is something you don't know. Your frat brother by the name of William Lyle. You know him? You should know him.
Okay,
look him up.
I'm gonna look him up.
So your frat brother.
I'm sorry, brother Lyle.
So he used to go to my church, and one day I don't even remember. Like, I don't know if he was like just cleaning up his garage or something. I don't know. He was doing something, and he found this old camera, and he was just like, "Hey, you want this camera?" I was like, "Yeah, give it to me," right? And so at that point, I wasn't thinking about photography at all, but he showed me how to use it. And when I say I literally fell in love with photography from that moment, it was not on my radar. I wanted to be a dance teacher. I grew up, I was a like legit.
Really?
Yes. I mean, like, was on the dance team at Morgan and everything. Like, literally was going to be a dance professor. Like, and so anyway, so he gave me the camera. I learned it. And then I was shooting everything, a lamp, a dog, a person, everything. And from there, it kind of just evolved into making money a little bit. A little bit of money, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. But it was like $50. Like, it wasn't crazy. You know what I mean? When I first started, but that's how I started. And I never stopped from there.
Yeah, there's something about that first little piece of change you make, on the side from a hobby. Like,
listen, like, okay.
People pay money for this?
Right.
I was doing this for me.
Right.
Yeah, so in light of that, like, can you, like, what was your very first paid photography gig?
Okay.
Like, what was that one? And how'd you do? And how the client liked the stuff. All the things. Give me the details of the joint.
It's so funny because that person is still my client to this day, to this very day. So it's a young lady that I actually went to high school with. She's like maybe two grades above me or something like that. Anyway, she just wanted to do a photo shoot or something. And I did a photo shoot for her in my father's clubhouse at the time. Like, he was living in this community and they had like a clubhouse. And I did a photo shoot. It was in a room full of mirrors. Why we chose that room, it was the dumbest thing, but I had like a hard flash. Like, it was so crazy. And I want to say, like, did I do her makeup? It was just very like, what's going on here? But I'm pretty sure I charged her like $50, 50 to like $80 to do that. And then she loved them. Like, she thought it was the best thing. So I was like, all right, bet I can do this. Hard flash or not.
and to this day.
Yep. She's still my client. Matter of fact, we have I shot her wedding. I mean, I shoot her kids. Her kids are in acting. I shoot them. Yeah, I shoot like I'm their photographer.
That's
like
amazing.
Literally.
That's amazing. Yeah, this is funny. Like, I get DMs about you sometimes. Like, yeah, Kelly took pictures of me back in da 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 da. Oh, Kelly did da 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 da. All right. Even last time you was here. I had on the way out.
Oh, Gerard.
Folks like, oh yeah, that's
I love them.
Someone I was doing video for, like, yeah, I'm her. I was like,
Yep.
oh man, Kelly, yeah, you in the streets, so that's what's up, yo.
I get a lot of clients, like a lot of repeat clients.
That's good,
and it's a blessing.
That's telling.
It's a blessing. You know,
Yeah.
I do my best to give people a good experience when they come to me, and I think that's what brings them back. You know.
Okay, can you talk a little bit about because that's a big thing for me as well. When people are hiring a photographer or a videographer or whatever, they want to be a star, at least for the moment. If it's for an event, like whatever the case may be, they want to be a star. And then the other thing, I feel like creatives oftentimes, and I'm just gonna be honest, I feel like creatives oftentimes are just like so creative that they neglect all of the other things. The mood and the tenor, how you show up, what you have on, what you look and smell like all of the things. Even yesterday, I had a suit on. JJ was like, hey, before you go to this situation,
Right.
you might want to change.
Yeah.
You don't want to be too flat. Like,
Gotcha.
Like in this room, because of what's going on, you don't want to be. You want to just be a ghost.
Yeah.
So like little things like that. Can you kind of tell about your experience, like with the experience you provide? Not rooted or tutor like from the systems and all that kind of stuff, but like what are some of the things that you try to kind of key in on?
I always say that, you know, being a photographer, you have to use your discernment, right? That's a big thing. And because we are literally seers, right? We have to be able to discern the moments before they happen, right? And so taking into account little things like that, like, okay, what environment am I going to be in? I'm always going to be professional. I'm always going to look good and smell good. That's like my standard. But I know that there are other people, or I've experienced other people who that is not their standard and they don't work with me. Yeah. Okay. And so, but people who work with me know my standard. Like, listen, when you show up, you're representing me. And I have to say, like, everybody that I've worked with, they've always represented me in the best way. That's good. The best way. So, but you're right. Like environments, parts of town, like I'm walking into spaces, and this is someone asked me the other day, like, hey, do you do home shoots? I don't do home shoots anymore. I haven't done home shoots in 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, for my safety. I'm a woman, and so I'm not trying to come up in your house packing. Yeah. I don't want to have to do that.
I don't want to have to do
that. I don't want to have to do that. Right?
I have the ability.
Exactly. I desire my freedom, and I don't want to have to like be in an environment that will make me feel unsafe.
Absolutely.
Or anybody that, you know, is working for me. Yeah. So just that kind of thing, which is why I have a studio. Yeah. Right. We have 7-8 sets in there. We can look at it. Can look like your house. How about that?
However you want it.
So just thinking about things like that, particularly events. I do a lot of corporate events now, so that it's kind of easy. You do one, you know what to expect. So that's kind of easy. You know to show up early. You know to show up. You know to make sure that you have ample lighting, depending upon what the venue is. I always look at the venue before I go. That's good. So I know, like, okay, well, maybe I'll do off-camera flash here, or maybe I don't need that. You know what I mean? Depending if it's a bunch of uplighting, then I know I'm gonna have to put on a flat, like, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. And just making sure I'm in constant communication with my client, so we're both on the same page about what they expect and also what I expect from them, because I feel like a lot of times we miss that. Yeah. Like, you have expectations of me, but I also expect that you are going to follow my creative direction. Absolutely. You're not going to be standing over my shoulder. Yep. You're going to respect my timelines, like things like that. So that's about.
That's good. It's funny you said about the communication piece. I ran into an issue yesterday because in my mind, if I say I'm going to be here at 6:30, I want to. I don't want to tell you. Yeah. I want to show and prove, and then I'll be there at 6:30. Yeah. The problem was I didn't communicate. So I got there early. She was like, "It's funny that you called me because I was just about to step out. Like, is he coming? Is he here? Is he this? Is he that?" And I was like, "See, this is so like that constant communication piece is huge." Big question, event question, photography question. Food. Ooh. If there's a buffet there and you're doing the event, what's the rules? What's your rules around eating?
Oh, it's in my contract. It's matter of fact.
Really?
It is.
You have everything everything in your contract. Because every time I ask you, like, here's my contract.
It's in my contract. I will shoot a wedding for food. Like, I'm just saying, like, no, I have to eat. I'm eating before an event. I'm eating on the way to the event, and I'm eating at that event. Mm-hmm. So because we're moving, right? Constantly. And we're constantly burning calories and energy. I need to eat, right? Yeah. So, and I need a break. Photography is very hard on the body. Yeah. Videography, photography, whatever. We're moving around. We're doing a lot. We need to eat. Yeah. Right? Feed your vendors.
Please.
I feel like this question comes up on every podcast that I'm on, and I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm gonna die on this hill. Feed your vendors, or we're gonna talk about you. We're gonna talk about you.
Yes.
So no, it's in my contract. If there is food, if there is a catered event, it is expected that myself and my staff will have a hot plate.
That's good.
Don't put us in the back with a lunchbox. It's there, okay? Thankfully, nobody has ever had an issue with me eating at their event.
Yeah.
Ever. Like, and hopefully that will never be the case, because I would hate to have to say something.
That I have to pull
I don't like gathering people, but I will.
Let me get you together real quick.
Put it in your contract. Trevor, put it in your contract.
I need the copy. You're supposed to send me the copy of your contract. I need that.
Yes, I will send it today. Put it in
that's one of my weaker points. Because I'm still like newer in this space, I'm really like, I still ask the stupid questions like, well, what's your budget?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What money? What are you trying to stay around? I did this shoot yesterday. She asked for the invoice on Monday. Still haven't sent it. Just small things.
Yeah.
Working. I'm trying to do better.
So hold on. So let's back up. Back to the food thing real quick. Even though it's in my contract, you still have to like just be mindful. Like, you're not gonna go jump in front of the guest or go get a plate, right? In my contract for weddings specifically, it states that I need to eat after the bride and groom's plates are dropped. That way, I can eat and then get back for toast.
Yeah.
And all the other formalities that are going to be happening, right? Because if you wait to feed your vendors at the very end after everybody else has eaten, then you want to start toasting when you don't ever get a chance to eat.
Yes.
So feed me and my team the moment the bride and groom, in the first table. Make sure that we eat at that time so that we can give. It's not because we're being greedy. We have to work.
And no one wants pictures of them with stuffing side salad in their mouth. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the dead time to be able to get some food and XYZ.
Yep.
So that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Now, you saying like, now what about like an event where there's just like a buffet? You wait till the line dies down?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do. And you find a moment to eat. Just find a quick moment, grab a little plate.
Yeah.
And eat.
But even like you said earlier, like discernment, like I feel that. I want to talk a little bit about, and I don't want to die on the hill of gear, because one thing I think was dope when we did the State of the City joint, all of them, Sony, Canon, Nikon, you know what I mean, across the board, everybody had dope stuff, everything came out pretty good, all that. What is some advice you would give to a beginner, to someone that's kind of stepping in, either someone that's looking to buy their first camera, or someone that's like, I got a Rebel T7 and I'm ready to upgrade?
Ooh, everybody loves that camera.
Well,
It's a consumer camera, so you can go to Sam's Club and buy that, right? So that's what it is, right? It's a camera for a novice, or somebody who just likes to who wants to get into photography, but it's not something that you really should be. Not for long anyway. You shouldn't be charging people real money if you're shooting with. You're not going to get the same quality that you would get with a mirrorless camera or a large format camera. You're not going to get the same quality. And so I get this question all the time. I mean, people are inboxing me like, "Hey, please help me." Like, what
should they do?
But it's so hard because it depends on your level. Do you even know how to shoot?
Yeah.
RAW. Do you know what RAW means? Yeah. Do you know what ISO is? Like, do you know what you're doing, right? And so I'm not gonna go tell you to buy a mirrorless camera for $3,500 or $4,000, and it's just gonna collect dust because you don't know what you're doing. Yeah. Unless you're really gonna invest in like some education behind that, then okay. I will say between Nikon and Canon, I mean, they're kind of neck and neck as far as cameras that are affordable. On the lower end, you can still get a good quality camera. I would always say to people who are looking to like transition from a consumer camera to a real camera, buy used first. Go to Service Photo or wherever you look up your local camera shop. We have Service Photo here in Baltimore. Shout out to Service Photo. Shout out to Service Photo. Y'all need to sponsor this podcast.
Something. Go on. Let me get a couple more dollars on the trade-in.
No,
please.
we actually talked to them because they're like really good at that. So we'll talk offline about that. But buy used, you can get a very good used camera for a decent amount of money. So I would say buy used, whether it's Nikon, Sony, Canon. I would say Canon or Nikon though for a new user. I wouldn't put them on a Sony.
Yeah. Sony is tough. Sony's tough.
Fuji.
That menu, the menu. There's a lot of things. Me and JJ talked about a little bit about that. Like, there's a lot of things that can kind of deter you or detract you from like learning more and all that kind of good stuff. Because I'm with you. Like I had a GH5. That's when I started to learn some of the stuff. But I'll be honest with you. So I kind of delved on the other side. Okay. So I said I need for the quality of the picture to compensate for my lack of for my lack of framing, for my lack of blurry photos. So like I just needed, because I was invested early on. I was like, yo,
you spending money.
Like, let's do it. My grandmother passed. Oh man, I keep meaning to bring her camera in here. But she had a EOS 80D. I think it's 80D. And I played with that for a little bit, and I was like, you know what? When she passed, I got that, left a couple of hours. I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. I'm gonna just want to do it. Like I enjoy it. I think I do good at it. And it was a long. Now, one thing I'll say, especially for beginners or folks that are trying to like grow in the space, you kind of gotta be patient with yourself because it does take a while. It took a minute. Like I'm just now 2025 feeling comfortable with my stuff. I'm really real. Like I'm just now, and it's I'm watching folks like you and JJ specifically. I got a photo. I can't show you the photo yet, but I have an invitation for you for the exhibit joint. I got a photo.
Got you.
Technically, you already saw it, but I'm not gonna tell you which one it is.
Okay.
Like, I look up to y'all for real. In the photography space. That's why I appreciate it. The joint I did for you a couple of Sundays ago, and I'll come back to that one. Yeah. It's like, yo, a lot of our photos look the same. I was like, me?
Yep.
Even the joint last night. Like, I was like, oh, we in.
And I really mean that. You are growing like leaps and bounds. Like, even from when I first met you, like your work is, but that really speaks to who you surround yourself by. You know what I mean? Like, if you're in our group, like we're not going to let you fail. Yes. We're just not, right? But you are growing. You are. But wait, it's so funny you were saying that when you first started, you kind of like went all in, right? And you were like spending money. I was the complete opposite.
Really?
Oh yeah. What can I do with this $80 camera?
Yeah.
What'd you say? A flash? A sun pack from Walmart? Let's do it. And I learned. That's how I learned. Yeah. I've learned on the cheapest. And then when it was time, I upgraded, and then I upgraded, and then all of my so I would only spend money that I would make from shoots. Like that was the money that I used to buy.
Yeah, absolutely.
The new stuff, right?
Absolutely.
And I really didn't start buying new until maybe 10 years in, maybe. Maybe. Okay.
Like 10 years ago.
Like 10 years into my career.
Yeah.
I was used, I'm buying used. Ask anybody that works at Service Photo. I was a regular.
Okay, let me ask you a question about the used. Canon specifically. They were saying, cause I talked to them, they said like they kind of gauged their Canon cameras on 100,000 clicks in the shutter.
Okay.
Past that, because there was R5, there was like $800. I was it was like it's like 20 and some odd, wasn't it?
Yep. So they won't take it.
Is that real?
It is.
Okay.
Because I actually maybe like 2 months ago, I took one of my cameras to Service Photo and they were like, "That's too high."
Really?
The shutter count was too high. I'm like, Yeah.
Have you ever had a camera like die on you like that?
Never.
Oh, okay.
Never.
Yeah.
No. Is this wood? Knock on wood. Never. Okay, but that's also why you have to have multiple of things.
Yeah.
I have multiple of everything, even computers.
Really? Mm-hmm. I ain't mad.
Because what if something happens? I've dropped my camera at a shoot before and had to use another camera. Like
the job still got to get done. The job still got to get done every day.
So